नमो नमस्ते गुरवे महात्मने विमुक्तसंगाय सदुत्तमाय नित्याद्वयानन्दरसस्वरूपिणे. The bass and treble increase a little. That will add to the volume also. At least the bass you can increase. नमो नमस्ते गुरवे महात्मने विमुक्तसंगाय सदुत्तमाय नित्याद्वयानन्दरसस्वरूपिणे भूम्ने सदा पारदयाम्बुधाम्ने नमस्ते नमस्ते. Now it's okay. विभो विश्वमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते चिदानन्दमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते तपोयोगगम्य नमस्ते नमस्ते श्रुतिज्ञानगम्य स्वराज्य साम्राज्य विभूतिरेषा भवत्कृपा श्रीमहिमप्रसादात् प्राप्ता मया श्रीगुरवे महात्मने नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमस्तस्मै सदैकस्मै कस्मै चिन्महसे नमः यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते. Hari Om Tat Sat. Jai Guru Jai. So we were discussing about how the interactions, the actions can take us to the yoga, which is the dissolution of our constricted egoistic identity into the Purnatva, the universal transcendental identity. And the actions have to be utilized for achieving this goal. So that is how it becomes karma yoga, the karma which leads us to yoga. And how the actions can be converted is expressed as Buddhi yoga, because it is depending exclusively on an understanding of the truth. It is not just that you practice this mantra, that mantra, or you sit like this, you do this, do that, or you do this yaga, jajna. It's not like that. Basically, the ignorance is sitting in our buddhi, in our understanding that we are fragmented, small, limited by the body-mind complex. That ignorance has to be removed by incorporating knowledge. So it's entirely a process of buddhi. If we want to reach the realization of the truth, there is no other way. It has to be. Because the buddhi has to be cleared. Whichever manner we do, the buddhi has to be, the ajnana has to be, the cloud has to be removed to see the sun. That is the thing. So there, in Bhagavad Gita, various chapters, all are yoga. They have introduced various ways of anchoring the buddhi in the truth, in our real identity. And we have seen the second chapter, third chapter, then partly the jajna, all these things we were seeing. The one left out main is two, not one. One is the Gunaateeta, the practice of transcending the three gunas. And that actually, in a way, it leads finally to the last one and the final one, which is called samarpana, the surrender. That is sharanagati or samarpana buddhi. Actually it is sharanagati, means complete taking refuge in the truth. So those two I thought of continuing today, and then finally tomorrow ending with that sharanagati part of it. Now, it is, let us start with it. Param bhuya. This is 14th chapter, beginning. I will not read all the shlokas. 14th chapter from beginning. Param bhuya pravakshyami jnananam jnanamuttamam yajñātva munayas sarve param siddhimito gataha. See, he is again and again presenting the truth, so that each person may approach through a certain way, certain direction, and it might be convenient for one. So he says that again I am going to tell you what? Jnananam jnanam uttamam. Uttamam jnanam. Jnananam uttamam jnanam. That is the best knowledge of all the knowledges. Yajñātva munayas sarve param siddhimito gataha. By knowing that the munis, those who are thoughtful and those who are doing manana, they had attained the supreme felicity. Idam jnanam upashritya mama sadharmyam agataha. He says that by taking ashritya means taking refuge in this ashraya. This ashraya bodha is very important. When we take the refuge in the supreme truth or supreme Lord, we should not have any complaint at all. The test, whether we have done the surrender or not, the test is very simple. If you have surrendered to the Supreme Lord, who is doing everything in the world, then whatever comes to you, you should accept. Because it has been done by the Lord. If you cannot accept, then you have not surrendered. So the test is, a person who has surrendered, who has the samarpana buddhi or surrender, feeling of surrender, he should always feel an ashraya bodha. Ashraya bodha means as if that child, a baby, is sitting in the mother's lap. That I am in the greatest refuge, I don't have to fear anything. May whatever come, I don't bother about it at all. Generally you have studied you have read, perhaps most of you, in My Beloved Baba, that Baba was mostly on the Shishasana. That is the headstand, most of the time of the day. But I have not seen him. Swamiji has seen him in Shishasana. When I met Baba, Baba has become quite old. He was no more taking the Shishasana. But he made a artifact, that two ropes hanging, just like the noose, two ropes hanging from the ceiling with having two nooses, and there he would put his legs, lie on the bed and bend from the hip and knee and put the legs on in those two nooses and remain like this. So I asked him that, don't you do the Shishasana now? So he said, no. I am in Garbhasana. He immediately said, I am in Garbhasana. Garbhasana means the fetus posture. In the Garbha, the fetus, it doesn't do anything at all. Whole safety is depending on the mother. It is surrendered to the mother. So Garbhasana is the most surrendered posture, asana. So he used to stay in that. So this jnanam upashritya means taking refuge to this jnana. That means we will not run after anything else. Whatever we need, whatever we are wanting to do, the approach should be the surrender to this knowledge, and everything will come on its own. Mama sadharmyam agataha. They attain my qualities. Sadharmya means Krishna is saying whatever my parameters are, whatever my personality, whatever I have attained, let us say, they attain the same state as I have attained. Sadharmyam agataha. That means Krishna is one in Bhagavad Gita throughout who has identified himself with the universal real identity. That is why he says, Kshetrajñam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Yesterday we did it. So anybody who follows this, he says he also will become like this. That means he will also attain the universal identity as Krishna has attained. Sargepi nopajayante pralayena vyatanticha. He will not be born with the creation of nature, not will be destroyed with the destruction of the nature. Because as I said, the whole nature is only an appearance on the Atma or Brahman or the consciousness. Consciousness is not an object. It cannot be known in the objective field. So the whole universe is just an exposition, just a display of the power of the consciousness. So one who identified with the consciousness, he sees the whole nature, changeful nature, coming, going, taking birth, destroying everything. He doesn't get affected or touched by it at all. So the whole creation of the universe and destruction of the universe is all in the objective field. It is taking place apparently in the consciousness. It doesn't touch the consciousness. So he says that he will neither be born during the creation nor will be destroyed during the extinction. Because he is not anymore a personality, individual. He means he must identify with that, the supreme truth. Once we identify with the supreme truth, we go beyond nature, beyond all the changefulness, beyond Janma Mrityu. That is, there lies the immortality. Immortality doesn't mean that anything in the world, in the created world, we cannot find immortal. The whole world, the very basis of creation is change. Without that, nothing will be created. So if at all any immortality is there, it is our own identity, our own Atma or the Brahman. Sattvam rajastama iti. Say.
Sattvam rajastama iti.
Guna prakriti sambhava.
Guna prakriti sambhava.
Nibadhnanti mahabaho.
Nibadhnanti mahabaho.
Dehe dehinam avyayam.
Dehe dehinam avyayam.
Sattvam rajastama iti.
Sattvam rajastama iti.
Guna prakriti sambhava.
Guna prakriti sambhava.
Nibadhnanti mahabaho.
Nibadhnanti mahabaho.
Dehe dehinam avyayam.
Dehe dehinam avyayam.
So he is introducing a model of creation on nature here, which is based on three gunas, three modes. Actually, the proper English will be three modes, that is sattva, rajas and tamas. You can call it, the guna actually has two meanings. One is the qualities, another is in a rope you have the strands, dhanurguna, that in the rope we make it with three strands, as if a rope is made with twisted three strands. So that way also the whole Prakriti is made of these three gunas. Both way it means, but it is basically the three qualities, three parameters, three characteristics, three modes of the existing in creation, of which anything that created, it has to have all the three gunas. There is no creation where it is only sattva only rajas or only tamas. Nothing like that. Anything created, there will be all different proportions, various differences will be there. But it cannot be consisting of only one guna. Here it's 18th chapter, he has mentioned also, I believe, that ye visyatribhirgunaihi natadasti prithivyam va divi deveshu va punaha sattvam prakritijair muktam yadevisyatribhirgunaihi natadasti prithivyam va divi deveshu va punaha. On this earth or in the heaven or anywhere in the creation, there is nothing, no existence there possible which is not a combination of these three gunas. Scientifically also there is a meaning actually. It means that anything that exists, first of all, it has to be revealed, it has to be known. There might be many things existing here which we do not know. Unless it appears in our consciousness, we will not know about it. This knowledge is the sattva part of it, which reveals. That unless it is revealed, we will not know. There could be so many antimatter world and all. Unless there is something or some resulting effect which we are able to know, through that inferential we will know. Otherwise we will not know. So this knowledge is a fundamental characteristic of existence, which is represented by the sattva guna. Any existence, it has to come out of some energy because it involves a change. Even if a minute elementary particle or wave or whatever we may say, even if it stays for 10 to the power minus 48 seconds or so, that means that there is a change taking, there is an energy involved in it. Without the energy, it has no existence at all. That is a part of the rajoguna. And tamoguna means the inertial part of it. Tamoguna represents the inertia. That is, any existence has to stay for a certain time, otherwise it will not be known. Suppose as we move to subtler and subtler particles and all, some of them exist for a very, very minute range of time, span of time. But it has to be. Otherwise it will not be known. If it doesn't exist for a certain time, it will not be known. It's simple. So, any existence will have to have these three elements, that it has to be known by, revealed by the consciousness. It has to have some energial element which makes it, introduces the changes in it. And it has to have a certain lifespan, however small it be, 10 to the power minus 100 seconds or so also. But it has to have a certain lifespan, which is the result of the tamoguna. That is the inertial part of it. Inertia means it has to stay in a certain point. And here actually in spirituality also, the sattva guna is the revelatory part of it. The same thing as I said, that it has to be revealed. That part is the sattva guna. And rajoguna is it's the energy part of it. And tamoguna is again the inertial part of it. There is no change. Only they have not introduced the elementary particle or anything which I have brought from physics. Other than that, it is the same thing. It also has to have all these three. So he says that prakriti sambhavaha, he uses. It can be interpreted in two ways. One is born of the prakriti or which makes the prakriti. Both ways the word meaning is the same. And it is true also. Either prakriti is made of these three and they have no existence without prakriti. So whether you can say prakriti is made of these three or they are made of the prakriti, it doesn't matter. There is no other prakriti other than the combination of the three gunas. And the three gunas only represents the prakriti, nature. So they have used a very special word of prakriti sambhava. It is not that the prakriti was existing and then from that the three gunas come. No time causality there like this. The prakriti itself is a combination of these three gunas. Now what do they do? Nibadnanti, O Mahabaho, O Arjuna. What do these three gunas do? Nibadnanti, Dehinam avyayam dehinam dehe nibadnanti. Avyayam means changeless. Avyayam means vyaya, there is no decay, there is no change. Dehi and deha. Deha means the body, and dehi means who resides in the body, who is expressing through the body. That means the Atma. Now, avyayam dehinam dehe nibadnanti. That means, truly speaking, the dehi, the Atma is avyaya, unchanging. So it is not speaking about the Atma, if at all something is there which is coming out of the body and getting into other body. This is all changeful. That is undergoing karma. It had some karma in the next life. The religious Atma, the Jiva we are talking about, that has got a karma, that has cause and effect sequence. So he is not speaking of that. Here Dehi means the Atma which is Avyaya, means unchanging. That means it cannot be limited by the body, mind, personality. It can only be one and transcendental, which doesn't change at all. Now that is the true nature of our identity of the Atma. Such a Dehi, Avyayam Dehinam, Dehe Nivadnanti. That Guna's role is to tie, bind this rope is tying the Avyaya Atma to our three-guna oriented body, mind, personality. That means truly there is no bondage at all, it is free. But the free, imperishable Atma appears to be perishable, changeful in association with the body. Why? Because whatever you say, body or the world, it is only a manifestation or expression and appearance on the soul. So in effect it is the soul, it is the consciousness. But when it is expressing in association of a body with a body, all the bodily properties will be expressed through that. All of us are the same Atma. We are expression of the same Atma. It is not that the Atma is fragmented and put into us. It is not like that. The Atma is expressed as multi-million bodies. They are all Atma in reality. But as they are expressing through each body, in each case the expression is different depending on the gunas that constitute the body, which is part of the nature. That is why always while talking I am repeatedly saying that the body-mind personality, which is a product of nature. So the nature is made of the three gunas, and body being part of the nature, a product of nature, it is also, body-mind personality is also made of the three gunas. Only the consciousness, the I, the Atma, the revealer of everything, is not within the field of gunas. So I will again try to relate. If I lose track, you should remind me, that all these days what I have been talking about, that all the effects of impurity, desire, corruption, everything goes up to from the senses, mind and buddhi, up to the buddhi. Actually, up to the buddhi is the guna function also. But to get a life of purity, I mean, what is the Shastras for? Shastras are there to completely transform our life and make it or host it in the permanency, in the permanent happiness. You call it happiness, but it's a permanent contentment, fulfillment, whatever you may say. So for that we are always trying to yo buddhehe paratastu saha, that which transcends the buddhi, because up to the buddhi is the effect of the three gunas. So there also we have to understand what is beyond buddhi and then establish the buddhi in that. Means that qualities are brought to the buddhi so that we are aware of our real identity. Here also that this avyayam dehinam, the avyaya dehi, which is unchanging reality, our real identity, which is always getting bound because of the three gunas, it is getting apparently bound into the body and behaving as the body-mind personality. So why are we studying this three guna model? This will tell us how to get rid of this bondage and get back to this real identity. That is the purpose. The whole three guna, gunatraya vibhaga yoga is for that. Yoga is attained by transcending the effect of the three gunas. But as long as Prakriti is there, suppose our body is still existing, it will have the three gunas playing in us. These are very, very secret and important point. You cannot, the body cannot exist without the three gunas, even for a knower also. The body, mind, personality will be still functioning as a product of the three gunas. But he will identify with the Dehi, which is transcending that. By that he will become liberated. His identity will be shifted from there. That is why when different knowers realize the truth, I always take the example of Ramakrishna Dev and Vivekananda. In realization of the Atma or Brahman or the truth, both are same. They realize the same Atma because there is no two Atma to be realized differently. But when that same Atma or realization is expressing through a body-mind personality, it takes over the properties of the body-mind personality. That is why we find that in the functional level, are not Vivekananda and Ramakrishna Dev are absolutely opposite. No two knower is same. Baba and Swamiji are absolutely opposite. Baba was a sedentary person, Swamiji is an active person. Baba was always lying and thinking and doing whatever he wanted. And Swamiji is always moving around, even with this health also. When he walks very fast with this health also. So it is all expressing because it depends on the personality. That's a product of nature. It will have all the hereditary qualities and associated qualities what has been incorporated throughout life. The manifestation will be through that. But because the identity has got shifted, the manifestation will be pure. That is, it will not be obstructed by the desires and ego and raga dvesha. That is the only difference with a knower. Otherwise, all the properties will be there. Somebody will write, somebody will speak, somebody will be writing and speaking, somebody will not do anything, keep quiet. All are knowers. So he says that Nibadnanti Mahabaho Dehe Dehinam Abhyayam, that Dehi which is absolutely unchanging, unbounded by anything, which is absolutely free. But because of the guna effect playing in the body-mind personality, one feels that I am bound. I itself is feeling that I am bound. So he first then says that how the bondage is taking place. That sattva guna bondage will be of one kind, rajoguna bondage will be of one kind, tamoguna bondage will be of one kind. In the personality, although all the three qualities are there, all the three gunas are there will be different proportions and their activities will be at different level. So it will manifest in different manners. So he first of all takes up the sattva guna, the 6th verse. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat
Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat
prakashakamanāmayam
prakashakamanāmayam
sukha-sangena badhnāti
sukha-sangena badhnāti
jnana-sangena chānagha.
jnana-sangena chānagha.
He says that sattva guna, by its very nature, it is the revelation, it is the revelatory power. So it will not have the normal draw. Say sunlight. We are always showing things which have got filth and dampness and all to the sunlight so that they are removed. That's because of the heat of the sun also. But the sunlight never gets putrefied by anything it reveals. Suppose the sunlight is revealing a beautiful rose flower, it is not becoming beautiful by revealing a rose flower. It is revealing the garbage, bad, foul-smelling garbage also. By that the sunlight doesn't get affected at all. So that is the purity, anamayam nature of the light. Light is revealing. Like that, our consciousness, awareness, the sattva guna's nature is this revelation, revealing. And by that very process, it is not having, it doesn't get contaminated with other things. It is prakashakam anamayam. It is revelatory and pure in its way. Nirmalatvat, because it is always free of mala, free of all dross. But at the same time, well, sattva guna is very good, so we cultivate sattva guna. But he is cautioning that sattva guna also is binding us. Sukha-sangena badnati jnana-sangena cha anagha. He is calling Arjuna as anagha. Anagha means sinless, pure. O anagha, this sattva guna also is binding one in two manners, sukha-sangena and jnana-sangena. This sangha we have to understand very well. The whole Bhagavad Gita is only speaking about sangha and asanga, asangatva. Sangha means clinging, clinging, clinging. That means anything that is fleeting, if you hold on to that, cling to that, then it is sangha. We have been discussing, so we have discussed in lot. So he says that sukha-sanga, that we cling to sukha, and jnana-sanga, we cling to knowledge and wisdom also. Now here there is a caution, that when he is describing the sattva guna, he is saying sukha-sanga and jnana-sanga. But sukha and jnana, they are also divided in three manners. What is sattvika jnana, rajasika jnana, tamasika jnana? Sattvika sukha, rajasika sukha, tamasika sukha. All these are discussed in great detail in 18th chapter. Last time also when I did it, I took from there. So, we have to think that sukha-sangana means, oh, then sattva guna, I am very happy eating ice cream, so it is a sukha. So sattva guna is binding me to the ice cream. No, sattva guna will not bind you to the ice cream. Sattva guna will bind you to sukha-sanga. Sattvika sukha-sanga. Not rajasika sukha-sanga, tamasika sukha-sanga. Now you go to 18th chapter to find out what is the sattvika sukha. 18.36, 37. See, Yattadagre, let us chant, it is very important. Yattadagre vishamiva
Yattadagre vishamiva
parinami amritopamam
pariname amritopamam
tat sukham satvikam proktam
tatsukham satvikam proktam
atma buddhi prasadajam.
atma buddhi prasadajam.
So this is what the sattvika sukha is. So from all these words we have to find out which is the sattvika sukha. The first is agre vishamiva pariname amritopamam. See, it is sukha, but initially it is troublesome. They are saying vishamiva, it is need not be vishamiva, but it is troublesome in the beginning. Pariname amritopamam. At the end it becomes like nectar. Why difficult? Suppose you are asking a boy to study. He doesn't want to study, he wants to play. But when he has studied and he is then getting attached to the storybooks and all and reading, then you ask him to go for play, he doesn't go, he only reads. Is it not? So initially it was dukkha. But when he has undergone the discipline, it becomes a sukha for him. It is not just not only this, everywhere any austerity is initially difficult. When you have undergone the austerity, any discipline, forget about austerity, any discipline, suppose you want to sing, initially the sound coming out will be like a toad or a peacock or so. You have to train your voice, and the training the voice is not so easy. You have to undergo, any classical musician will undergo so much of torture, getting up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. Some gurus will say that you get into the water up to the neck and then practice saregama, or so many things. Those who practice percussion instrument, they will be asked to beat it so hard that whole society will wake up. So we had to tie a cloth, thick cloth over the tabla and the bayam, and then beat over that. So that your fingers, they all get used to the exercise, but no sound is produced. After that you remove and then start playing. So everywhere you have to undergo say about the sportsmen and all, is it not so? Everywhere any discipline initially is difficult to give you the freedom later on. When we have undergone the discipline, we enjoy the freedom in that world. Whether it is a world of music, world of literature, world of sports, everywhere it is like that. So, like that, if you undergo any sattvika discipline, that food say, you have to restrict your food to the sattvika food. Not take whatever your tongue is wanting to take. Not take, today they were selling golgappa, puchka, and I think some of us, we were with us, getting a little saliva in their tongue. Somebody asked that whether it is allowed. I said no. You go take before boarding the flight, so that the stomach, you have lose motion also after going back, not here. So even to take sattvika food is not easy. I have been trying to make our annakshetra food sattvika, but I am failing. What can be done? They cannot cook without soaking in oil and oozing out oil from there. But if you start cooking sattvika food, you will find you will really enjoy the taste of the vegetable. Here we are killing the vegetable, buying the vegetable at a great price, and then killing them, frying in oil. With all the oil, they become black, and then we eat it. It's absolute foolishness, but we do it. So sattvika food also is so difficult to take. But once you start taking the sattvika food and you get the joy of it, the purity, joy of purity, the joy of lack of tamasa qualities in that. When we take the vegetable like that, burning them or soaking them in oil, it introduces tamasa quality in us. Even the sleep will become dense and heavy. The buddhi will become dense and heavy. You will not be able to understand the shastras. If you take sattvika food, you will get up at 4 o'clock and read the shastras, you will find that everything is becoming easy. Simply the knowledge is dawning in. So initially it is vishamiva to undergo the discipline, sattvika discipline. It is difficult. Your mind wants to dress up in multicolor every day, new sarees, new. Kal neel pahne the, aaj laal panna hai. Parso hara panna hai. And the almirah is full of all colors, gaudy colors. It's all rajasika. It's all rajasa. And you will spend so much of time in selecting which saree today I will wear. Make it all same, either white or off-white or so. You don't have to think at all. Simply take from the top and put on. It doesn't matter at all. So he says that Yat tadagre vishamiva pariname amritopamam. If we practice, then we will find the mind is becoming quiet, the mind is becoming peaceful, the efficiency is increasing in understanding, working everywhere. You will find that the whole being is becoming so sensitive. Here it says that when the sattva guna is enhanced in the body, all the indriyas, they become specially sensitive and with the brilliance. Prakasha upajayate. Sarvadvareshu prakasha upajayate. Dwara means indriyas, all the sense organs. They develop a special power. They can see through everything when the sattva guna is enhanced in the body. So all these are nectarine, but you have to undergo the initial vishamiva discipline. Tat sukham satvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam. This is the most important. This sattva guna will give rise to a prasada, will give rise to a placidity of the mind which comes from the atma buddhi. Again, see, buddhi is anchored in the atma, whatever we say. Atma buddhi means when the buddhi is impregnated with the atmic dimensions, it results in a prasada, a placidity. So that sattvika sukha is coming from that prasada. That is universality, loving everybody, embracing everybody. That is finding our Atma everywhere. That is the basic thing. Finding everywhere I am and everybody is in me. Such a great placidity, because that is how, when we start vibrating with the real love for everybody. We don't look for love from anybody at all. It doesn't matter whether people malign us or abuse us or not. The love simply goes to the whole world. That is the Atma Buddhi Prasada. Love also is from that. Now, Prasada, Jam, means it gives rise to, it gives birth to that kind of Atma Buddhi Prasada. Now, this is what the Sattvika Sukha. And what is Sattvika Jnana? You go to 18.20. Don't forget whatever we read of this Sukha. 18.20. Chant. Sarvabhuteshu yenaikam
Sarvabhuteshu yenaikam
bhavam avyayamikshate
bhavamavyayamikshate
abhibhaktam vibhakteshu
avibhaktam vibhakteshu
tajnanam viddhi sattvikam.
tajnanam viddhi sattvikam.
He says jnana also, the knowledge also is of three kinds. What is the sattvika knowledge? He says sarva bhuteshu yena ekam avyayam bhavam ikshate. Ekam avyayam bhavam ikshate. Ikshate, I said, it is a vision of the buddhi. He will not see with the eyes. He will see with this understanding. The eyes will not change. With the understanding, it will always be reflected in his buddhi. What is that? Ekam avyayam bhavam. That the one truth, which is unchanging, immortal, everywhere. Sarva bhuteshu. Anywhere, anything we are interacting with, he is interacting on the substratum of the same Atma everywhere. So that bhava will be rising in his mind and buddhi. Ekam avyayam bhavam ikshate. Ikshana means he sees everywhere that avyayam, unchanging, one truth. The whole variety, infinite variety of the world is appearing on that. It is nothing but the consciousness we are. Even our body, mind, personality, which is included in the whole world, is appearing, is as if written on that consciousness. So is it not all consciousness alone? So he sees that. Suppose we are seeing the film, it is all happening on the screen. We get merged in the whatever is shown. We don't see the screen, is it not? The moment the light is switched off, the screen remains the screen. No change has taken place, and the whole play was going on that. So if you know the screen, your buddhi will know that the screen is there. But we don't worry about that because it has nothing to do with our character or our personality, or so we don't bother about it. If it is three-dimensional, that is hologram also, we don't need a screen. It takes place in space only. And it's a three-dimensional, you go anywhere. But there also the space is playing their substratum role. So, sarva bhuteshu yena ekam avyayam bhavam ikshate abhibhaktam vibhakteshu. Everything is vibhakta, everything is fragmented. But he sees the unfragmented truth in the fragmented world. Tajnanam viddhi sattvikam. This is called the sattvika jnana. Now what will happen if you have the sattva guna? Suppose you don't know this truth, or so you are not bothered about the Atma or the all-pervading truth. If the sattva guna is at its height, then you will have a very comprehensive vision everywhere. People fight with their own egoistic opinion always, is it not? A, B, C, D, everybody is expressing their own opinion and not able to come to any consensus. Because everybody is seeing only his view and he feels that that is the truth. I am seeing this and it has to be accepted. But you will find the sattvika people will be a very good mediator, because he can see that why this person is saying this, that person is saying this person, there is something behind working all of them. And he will be able to do a very good mediator's job. Actually, the managers should be very good manager when they are sattvika. They would vie for this quality. It's a very comprehensive vision will be generated, because sarva bhuteshu ekam avyayam bhavam ikshate. That is about the ultimate truth. But in his regular dealing, daily dealing also, he will not have generally much conflict. He will understand things and he will do things in a very comprehensive understanding. Now let us come to the same thing. Let us go back to that 14th chapter where we found that sukha-sangena badnati jnana-sangena chanagha. This is the kind of sukha and this is the kind of a jnana. These are called sattvika sukha and sattvika jnana. So in this shloka, what they are saying is that a sattva guna is very pure and revealing and all, but this also binds a person by sattvika sukha-sanga and sattvika jnana-sanga. If this sattvika sukha also, if we cling to it, then it will become a bondage. Suppose when we are studying about the spirituality, Atma and all, we revel in this universal dimension. We would like to only chant and read and do manana, or just simply write about it, depending on one's level, what he will do. But he will be reveling in this universality of the truth. It is so joyful also. The knowledge is this universal knowledge, this gives sukha also correspondingly. So what happens that we start clinging to that sukha and that kind of a knowledge which is the knowledge of the uniform truth. In meditation also, we are enjoying in that universality, in that soul dimension. So we start clinging to that. So as long as we are clinging to sattvika sukha and sattvika jnana also, we will not be able to attain freedom. We will not be able to attain our real identity soulhood. We have to transcend that also. As the rajoguna, tamoguna are created, so are the sattvika gunas created. They are all within the duality. To go to that ultimate level, we have to transcend the duality. Everything. So the first itself he has presented the best of the gunas, but cautioning us that that also is binding us. So when a person becomes three-guna-tita, initially, I will come to rajoguna and tamoguna, but how much time will be there, I don't know. But initially the tamoguna will bind us with nidra, alasya, inattention. What is the pramada, alasya, nidra bhi? Pramada means inattention. Alasya of various kinds, mental alasya, physical alasya, nidra, sleep. All these things they will bind. So this bondage to overcome, we have to incorporate both rajasa and sattvika qualities. Because rajasa quality will deal with the inertial element. By incorporating energy, it will deal with the inertial element of tamas. And the sattvika quality will deal with the ignorant element of the tamas. It is covering up the truth also. Tamoguna is making us lethargic and it is making us pramada, giving us pramada. That means we will be inattentive about everything. Ignorance. So the ignorance will be dealt with by the sattva guna. So you cultivate sattva guna and rajoguna both to overcome the tamoguna. Then when you are a rajasic pradhana person, rajoguna is very prominent, then incorporating tamoguna is not the solution. Then again you go back. So incorporating more and more sattva guna will be necessary. So that the rajoguna is actually puts us into desire motivated activity, always fragmenting things, knowing separately, this I want, this I don't want, etc. So that fragmented vision, the partial vision, the divisional, bheda buddhi, those will be treated by the uniformity and largeness, all-embracingness of the sattva guna. But doing that, when you have become sattva pradhana person also, you will be bound by these two things. How are you going to overcome this? That sattvika sukha and sattvika jnana also will bind us. That comes at the end, and through Bhagavatam also, that I will deal with tomorrow, that how to get rid of the sattva guna. I can tell, but it is actually through surrender. That is the last word of Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Because there is nothing, no other guna beyond sattvika, sattva guna. So how to get rid of that bondage? You completely surrender yourself. You don't bother about this guna, this sukha, that sukha at all. We have already become height of sattva guna. And the clinging you have developed, you completely surrendered that preference for the sattva guna, sattvika sukha and sattvika knowledge, both. If you are clinging to shastric studies, drop it. You may have to drop it to get over it. If you are clinging to meditation, drop it. I have said so many times, when Swamiji was very much given to meditation, in the ashram when he came, the present ashram, one day he was sitting in meditation and one man from the village came asking for something, and Swamiji was in meditation. So when he got up and found that he was not able to attend to the person who has come for some service, then the thought came to his mind, what am I doing this? Every day the same. By meditation, where are we going? The same thing, same samadhi or the same atma or so. Why do I need it? I don't need it also. It becomes a vinoda, it becomes a joy. Every day you sit for some time and have the atmic sukha, atma sukha. So that day he promised that no more meditation. I will serve the people. That he stopped meditation. We say that after that only he has only put people into meditation. He has not meditated himself for himself. For himself he doesn't do, for others. So, when we find that it is also becoming a bondage, we should be able to get over by accepting whatever comes. That is the surrender. Ashraya bodha, or the surrender, or the samarpana buddhis. We don't look for anything. If the rajoguna becomes sometimes heightened, he will accept that also. But he will not have the rajoguna bondage or the other things, because he has already come over that. Sometimes he is feeling sleepy, he will sleep. That is tamaguna. But he won't have the bondage of tamaguna, because all those bondages have been crossed. See, he will not have the bondages created by either of the three gunas. He will be free of that. But his body-mind personality will still be made of, composed of the three gunas. It cannot happen otherwise. Na tadasti prithivyam va divideve shivjapunaha sattvam prakritijair muktam yadevi syat trivirgunai. There cannot be any existence which is not made of all the three gunas. The three gunas will be there, but he will not suffer from the bondages created by the three gunas. Then we call them the Shuddha Sattva. That is not Sattva. It is called Shuddha Sattva. That means he doesn't have the bondages of Sattva Guna also. A knower is supposed to be a Shuddha Sattva. That is why Jada Bharat was remaining in Tamaguna almost, idle like that. Asked him to pull the palanquin. He was carrying it in his own manner. Whatever to be done, he will do. There is another in Mahabharata, I think, that flesh seller, Dharmavyada, Mahabharata. He was a knower, but he continued with his flesh selling whatever he was doing. He need not, but the question is that it doesn't bind them anymore. So where he is asking later on that, oh Krishna, you tell me, kair lingais trin gunanetan atito bhavate prabho kimacharah katham chaitan three gunan ativartate. After the whole lecture about the three gunas, Arjuna is asking that what are the characters? Just as in second chapter he asked that Sita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sitadhi kim prabhasheta kim asita brajeta kim. There it was, oh Krishna, you have introduced this knowledge of the Sankhya, knowledge of the truth, knowledge of the Atma so well. But I would like to know what happens to a human being when he realizes his knowledge. That is important for us. The knowledge is abstract. But what happens when a person becomes a knower? So Sthita Prajna means one samadhisthasya sthitaprajnasya ka bhasha. That means a sthitaprajna who is in samadhi, what is the definition of it? Whether he is sleeping or what is in his mind, what is going on there when he is in samadhi. That is the definition. And the second line is sthita dhihi kim prabhasheta kim asita vrajeta kim. When he has come out of the samadhi and he is acting in this world, he is called sthita dhi. His buddhi has become stabilized. Stabilized where? In the Atma. This is what we have been telling, that the anchor of the buddhi in the Atma. His buddhi has got completely stabilized in Atma. What is his interactional characteristic? Kim asita, how does he sit, how does he speak, how does he move about? That means figurative expression of how does he interact with the world. Here he is saying again, what are the characteristics of a person who has overcome the bondage of the three gunas, or overcome the three gunas? Kim acharaha, how does he behave? Katham chaitan three-guna ativartate. So immediately he says, the first verse after that, Krishna is saying, Prakasham cha pravrittim cha moham eva cha pandava na dveshti sampravrittani na nivrittani kankshati. He has already done his job by getting rid of all the bondages. After that, whether it is prakasha means sattva guna, whether more of sattva guna is coming in, pravritti means rajoguna. Pravritti means the working intention. Whether the rajoguna is coming more or moham means tamoguna. Moha is coming more. He doesn't bother about that. Na dveshti sampravrittani. When they come, he is not bothered, he is not negating them. That, oh, kya ho gaya, rajoguna aa gaya. Nahin, kuch nahi hai. Na nivrittani kankshati. He doesn't want to get relieved of any of the gunas also. Guna guneshu vattante iti matva na sajjate. The gunas are playing in their own manner. The Prakriti's gunas are playing through my body. It is interacting with that. He remains at a different height, elevated position. This, you can remember very well, this prakasha, pravritti and moha. Actually, sattva guna leads to yoga, rajoguna leads to bhoga, and tamoguna leads to moha. This you can easily remember. Sattva, yoga, raja, bhoga, and tamoguna, moha. Moha means delusion, more and more covering ajnana. And rajoguna is always after bhoga. And sattvaguna is always revealing the truth. So it leads us to yoga. But these also we will find that there is a purer form of this sattva, rajas, tamas, where the binding elements are not there. So actually when a person overcomes the bondage created by this, then in him all the three gunas function in their liberated manner. That is the ideal condition. That is what we say is in nature. The tremendous energies we cannot even imagine in the whole universe. But there is no bondage anywhere because of that, because there is no desire. There is equally ignorance and darkness that doesn't cause any fatigue or pramada or alasya or anything. The darkness is part of the nature. It gives us the stability. Beyond all these luminaries in the sky, what is there? There is a silence, there is a darkness, which is again tamoguna. Similarly, the revelation, everywhere the revelation of the Atma. Without that, nothing can be there. So it is the prakasha, the brilliance everywhere. There is no bondage created by sukha or jnana that I am now tasting the bliss of Atma. No bliss, nothing. Whatever comes, he goes on doing. So that is the shuddha form of all the three gunas also. Let me see tomorrow, to some extent, whatever we can do. I will select some shlokas and then we will show you the slide as a summary. So recapitulation will be done. Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam Prasannam sada nityabodhasvarupam param nishchalam nirgunam sarvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami pranomi prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nityabodhasvarupam param nishchalam nirgunam sarvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami pranomi. If time permits, tomorrow I will end with the Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam, that 4 varnas in Prakriti, and how a knower is a combination of all the 4 varnas, the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. What do they mean really? About this there's lot of misconception, argument and whatnot, so much so that we are afraid of speaking about it. But I do speak about the truth. We cannot but speak the truth, and it has nothing to do with the jati. It has something that also I would like to speak, but there is nothing. The whole Shastras are based on the single truth of the soul, which is uniformly present in everywhere, everybody. And everybody is fit to realize his identity, where there is no difference. If you, whatever you are in your life, the truth realization, the identity, realizing our real identity, there is no difference at all. So where is the question of looking down upon somebody or looking with a special favor about somebody? Our Shastras completely denying it. The whole society was based on it. It's a perversion which has taken place by misinterpreting and misunderstanding. So much so that the Bhagavad Gita has never spoken about jati except Arjuna in the first chapter. And people say that this varna is jati, and they malign Bhagavad Gita also. So I would like to touch on the truth to the extent possible tomorrow.